Tell us a bit about how you see Americans reacting to the world of today. It's not a missile threat, nuclear war, but people are concerned about jobs, about their savings, about competition from abroad. And we've had a consensus, what was once called a decade or so ago, the Washington Consensus, about free markets, democracy, everything prevailing. And this was the wonderful new world, bringing prosperity to vast parts of the world, which it has accomplished. But still we know what's lurking beneath the surface there and may come out in this political campaign. So how do you see Americans adapting to globalization, engaging in the world in this way? And do you think there are risks there?
Garrick, if I may, I'd like to expand the question a little bit and look at the question not just from only the Americans' point of view, but also from the non-Americans' point of view. Because the issue is not exclusive to Americans. It is an issue that all of us living in a globalized world are struggling with. Doesn't matter where we're from. So I'll try to look at it from both sides. And I want to start with a lunch I had some time ago with a senior executive at CNN International. And we were talking about, he had just retired, and we were talking about his experience. And he said, you know, we at CNN International, we changed the world. I said, how so? He said, because for the first time in human history, we brought people of the world in contact on a massive scale. So many people of the world now know about other people. And I said, you know, that's right. And the more I know about you, the more I dislike you. And he was quite taken aback by that. He didn't expect that kind of a provocative comment, but I'm a professor, so it's easy for me to make these comments. But that's the whole point, that for the first time in human history, we are, as individuals, in contact at a rate that we've never been through. So we're all, whether we're American or Japanese or Chinese or Middle Easterner, we are going through an experience for which we were really not developed or prepared. Now, don't get me wrong, globalization is a great thing. I teach at a business school that teaches people how to be global. So there's nothing wrong with the notion of globalization in the sense that it creates opportunities, it allows people to do better things than their parents and other generations have been able to do. It's just wonderful. But it doesn't mean it is without side effects. And it's the side effects that are causing some complexities for all of us going through these experiences. I read Tom Friedman's book about The World is Flat. And it was an interesting book, except I'm not sure I agree with it. Not in the sense that the world is flat because technology has put us in touch. Absolutely, he's absolutely right about that. But when I was reading that book, I was looking for a chapter on how do individuals tackle this? What is the impact on individuals? And I couldn't find a chapter. I found a couple of paragraphs saying, well, we'll figure it out. It's kind of easy. Well, it's not. And the reason is not is this. The generations, maybe this side of the room will find it a little easier to handle the challenge. But many people, ages, adults.
Hey, the students are adults too, come on.
Well, I was going to specify some age ranges, but then I looked at this side and I decided not to do that. So let's talk about people in general. We have grown up in our societies most of us learning how to live and deal with people who are like us. So if you grew up in the US, well, you learn how to be an American and how to live and work with other Americans. If you grew up in China, you learn how to live and work with Chinese. But these people who grew up in their youth, elementary school, high school experience, and learned how to live and work with people who are like them, they become adults. And now they're faced with this new environment, the global world of business. By the way, the driver of this globalization is business, which is somewhat different from our previous experiences in history. Companies are pursuing opportunities, markets, products, credit, increasingly outside of their own borders. So the 18-year-old or 20-year-old who spent the past 20 years learning how to live and work with people who are like them suddenly has to work for a company that puts them in touch with the Chinese supplier and an Indian customer and all kinds of people who have no similarity to them and for which they were not prepared. So we as unicultural individuals come into this multicultural world and we're really having a hard time figuring out how to deal with that.